Lost in Israel, bathing in the Dead Sea, and chasing after female soldiers. Have you ever wondered how a small country like Israel can contain many wonders? Imagine yourself walking on the ancient streets of Jerusalem, where every stone seems to whisper stories from thousands of years ago. Or you're enjoying a creamy coffee in Tel Aviv, while young and vibrant female soldiers pass by, leaving you amazed by their strength and confidence. Israel is a melting pot of cultures and a vibrant tapestry of history, nature, and cuisine. Let's look at 10 interesting things about this land of Israel. 1. History of Israel. Israel may be a small country, but it has a long and rich history. It has been the center of 3 major religions in the world: Judaism, Christianity, and Islam. From ancient cities like Jerusalem and Nazareth to famous landmarks like the Western Wall, Israel holds thousands of historical stories and spiritual mysteries. Walking through Jerusalem, you'll feel like you're traveling back thousands of years. The ancient stone streets, churches, temples, and pilgrims from all over the world create a sacred and ancient atmosphere. Each stone seems to preserve a short story about prophets and battles. This is one of the rare places in the world where you can visit a 3,000-year-old archaeological site in the morning and have lunch at a high-tech restaurant in Tel Aviv. Imagine getting lost in a narrow alley in Jerusalem and asking for directions, and the locals can guide you to a place that has existed long before your grandparents were born, or even longer. They can tell you a few stories about biblical characters with such authenticity as if they just met them this morning. 2. Diverse nature. Small but mighty landscapes. Israel is so small that you can go from a desert to a forest in just a few hours, and that's what makes it unique. The Negev Desert in the south is like a Mars landscape, with its vibrant red dunes under the scorching sun. In the north, there is a lush green ecosystem, from the fertile forests of Galilee to the refreshing streams of Ein Gedi, a true paradise in the arid desert. You can hike through rugged waterfalls and admire herds of gentle deer and foxes lurking somewhere. It feels like you've touched a magical island where nature and humans blend in rare peace and tranquility. A journey from the desert to the green forest will surely be a memorable and unparalleled experience. 3. Dead Sea. The only place that can't sink. When you come to the Dead Sea, even if you consider yourself a swimming disaster, you don't have to worry. With a salt concentration nearly 10 times that of normal seawater, the water here is so dense that everything floats, literally floating aimlessly, just like you're floating on a giant raft. Not only a place to float, the Dead Sea is also known as a superlative natural spa. The mineral mud here is rich in nutrients, various minerals that help make your skin smooth and your pores clear. You'll look a few years younger after just one mud bath. People joke that going to the Dead Sea is not just about floating, but also about rejuvenating the soul. So don't forget to take a selfie while you're floating with a book or newspaper, so everyone can see that you're in a place like no other, like this. 4th, Hebrew language. Reviving a language thought to be forgotten. There was a language that disappeared in the history of the Israeli people. Hebrew was like an old dusty book covered in dust, only opened when someone read the Bible. Yet today, Hebrew is the language that Israelis use to chat every day. The revival of this language is like suddenly seeing someone come back to life. And this great achievement belongs to Eliezer ben Yehuda, the father of modern Hebrew. Ben Yehuda not only brought Hebrew into everyday life, but also invented completely new words for things that ancient people didn't know. Isn't that cool? From car to telephone, he created a series of vocabulary words so that modern people could speak the ancient language and still understand each other. Since then, Israeli children have been learning Hebrew, from kindergarten to heated debates in coffee shops, an ancient yet modern language and a symbol of the spiritual strength of a nation. There is nothing more admirable. 5. Reading culture, the country of genuine bookworms. Israel is a country where the love of books is almost ingrained from childhood. Israelis read so much that they dedicate an entire week to organizing the Hebrew Book Week in June every year. During this event, books are sold at discounted prices everywhere, and literature lovers have the opportunity to meet authors and have books signed. Many famous Israeli writers have debuted their works during this festival. And don't be surprised when you go to cafes in Tel Aviv or Jerusalem and hear people passionately discussing newly released novels or classic books. There are even book clubs where people gather every month to examine every detail of their favorite books. For Israelis, reading is not just a hobby, but also a way to expand their minds, explore the world, and constantly enrich their knowledge. It's not wrong to call them genuine bookworms. 6. Shabbat, a moment of silence in a busy world. When dusk falls on Friday evening, all of Israel pauses to make way for Shabbat, the sacred day of rest for the Jewish people. From offices to cafes to bus stations, everything closes, leaving a quiet space for the entire city. If you're in Israel for the first time, you'll find this to be a very different custom. The age of technology, yet a day when the whole city goes offline. Shabbat is a time for families and friends to gather together, chat, laugh, and share both big and small things. Israelis see this as an opportunity to recharge, to refresh their souls after a long and stressful week. And you'll also see, this is not just a day off, but a chance to truly appreciate the true values of life. When the world is busy, they take a day to truly live slowly. What could be more admirable? 7. Israeli cuisine. Each dish is a culinary adventure. Israeli cuisine is a magical combination of the Middle East, the Mediterranean, and Europe, where each dish has its own flavor and unique cultural story. Hummus is one of the most representative dishes. With its creamy flavor, eaten with warm pita bread, it's truly finger-licking good. Or falafel, crispy fried chickpea balls. When eaten with salad and tahini and pita bread, you'll experience an instant symphony of flavors. In particular, shakshuka for breakfast will surprise you with its spicy flavor from the tomato sauce and eggs. It's an energizing dish for a new day, loved in every corner of Israel. Additionally, Israelis are extremely passionate about seafood. And with the Mediterranean Sea right in front of them, they enjoy the fresh taste of shrimp and fish, creating a rich and unique culinary experience that can't be matched anywhere else. Each dish is not only an explosion of flavors, but also carries cultural stories from various ancient civilizations. When you savor Israeli cuisine, remember that you're not just experiencing the taste, but also a part of history, a part of the heart of this land. 8. The Steel Roses of Israel. If you think that mandatory military service is not very interesting, then you haven't seen the Israeli army. Here, both men and women have to join the military at the age of 18, turning Israel into a country of young, beautiful, and brave soldiers. The image of beautiful girls in uniforms has become a legend and can be said to be Israel's secret weapon. Don't be surprised when just yesterday she was still a high school student who had never held a gun in her life, but the next day she can completely put on a military uniform, hold a gun, and look very serious. One prominent example is Gal Gadot, who served in the military before becoming Wonder Woman on the big screen. Imagine, you are walking on the streets of Tel Aviv and happen to meet a young, beautiful girl who could be a soldier who has just completed her shooting training and is ready to defend the country. Yes, Israel has a Wonder Woman in real life, and even more than that. 9. Silicon Wadi, the world's technology powerhouse. If there's anything that surprises you, it's that Israel not only has sand and deserts, but also an unbelievably modern technology hub. With the title Silicon Wadi, a play on words with the famous Silicon Valley in the US, Tel Aviv and its surrounding areas have become a convergence point for thousands of startups and advanced technology companies. Did you know that some of the technologies you use every day are the result of creative minds in Israel? Waze, the navigation app that helps you escape traffic jams every morning. Or Mobileye, the technology that supports autonomous driving, all made in Israel. Not stopping there, Israel itself has invented the USB, a compact tool that most of us use to store data. If you have ever used that USB to store a movie or document, remember that you are benefiting from the Israeli geniuses. Tel Aviv may be the city that never sleeps, because here, creativity never rests. The common story here is that 3 friends meet for coffee, and a few weeks later, they have $1 million startup company. 10. The city of startups that never sleeps. The entrepreneurial spirit in Israel is as hot as the Negev desert in the summer. It's no coincidence that Israel is called the Startup Nation. With the highest number of startups per capita in the world, Israel has a special environment where every failure is just a stepping stone to success. You may have heard of names like Fiverr, the freelance platform connecting millions of freelancers with clients worldwide, or Viber, the once popular messaging app before WhatsApp came along. In Israel, if you see a group of friends passionately discussing in a cafe, don't be surprised if a few weeks later you hear that they have successfully raised funds and are preparing to launch a new technology product or a cool app on the App Store. Conclusion. What have you learned about Israel? That it is not just a country, but a crazy adventure. From floating like a buoy in the Dead Sea to encountering female soldiers who can make you feel embarrassed because they run faster than you in high heels. If you are looking for a place where history and cuisine blend like milk and coffee, come to Israel. Get ready for delicious dishes that you will want to bring home to enjoy forever. Remember that here, anything can happen, even a camel deciding to join the party.